Did you know that despite all the schooling, all the professional training you might have, the single most crucial subject for your financial well-being was likely never taught in any classroom?
It's kind of shocking when you think about it.
Right. We're talking about money itself, how it really works, not just, how to earn it.
Welcome to Darren's Book Nook. I'm Darren.
And I'm Sarah.
We take complex topics, look at the sources you share, and, well, we pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge for you.
And today, we're diving deep into a really influential one. Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah, a book that massively challenges conventional wisdom about money and wealth.
That's right. This deep dive is really about understanding why. Why do some people work incredibly hard their whole lives and, struggle financially, while others seem to build significant wealth, sometimes even with less formal education?
It promises a path to financial freedom, doesn't it?
It definitely lays out a different way of thinking, based on Kiyosaki's own experience with two very different father figures. Okay, let's really get into this then. Kiyosaki had these two major influences, right? His biological dad, the poor dad.
Highly educated government job, but always stressed about money.
And then his friend Mike's dad, the rich dad, less formal schooling, but...
But exceptionally wealthy. Became a mentor figure.
And this contrast, it's everything in the book. Their advice was just worlds apart.
Totally. Fundamentally at odds. The poor dad gave the advice most of us hear, right?
Go to school, study hard.
Get good grades, find a safe, secure job, good benefits, the traditional route.
Yeah, the path we're sort of steered towards.
Exactly. But the rich dad, he pushed for something completely different. He said, learn how money works.
So you can make it work for you.
Precisely.
Huh.
And that really highlights a huge gap in our education system.
Yeah.
It teaches professional skills, academic skills.
But not financial literacy, not how money actually
Right.
operates.
It prepares you to be a good employee, maybe, but not necessarily financially independent.
And Kiyosaki learned this firsthand, didn't he? There's that story about him and his friend Mike working for the rich dad when they were just kids, 9 years old.
Yeah, it's a fascinating story. First for like 10 cents an hour,
Which even back then must have felt like nothing.
probably. And then the real kicker, he got them to work for free.
For free! That sounds... I mean, what was the lesson there? Just exploitation.
Huh. Yeah, it definitely seems harsh on the surface. But the rich dad's point was deliberate. He wanted to push them,
Push them how?
to use their imagination, to stop thinking like employees just waiting for a bigger paycheck. He told them if they thought he was the problem, they'd have to try and change him.
Okay.
But if they realized they were the problem, their perspective, their reliance on a wage, then they could change themselves, learn something, grow wiser.
Ah, so it was about shifting their mindset, not just about the pay.
Exactly. It was about igniting that, that internal drive, that passion, sometimes even using anger, frustration about the low pay as fuel
Fuel to do what, though?
to break free, to see beyond just working for money. He wanted them to recognize what he called the rat race.
The rat race. That term really sticks with people. Can you unpack that a bit?
Sure. It's that cycle so many people get trapped in. He described it as lives forever controlled by two emotions, fear and greed.
Fear and greed.
Yeah. The fear of not having enough money
Mm.
that drives you to get that safe job. Then the greed or maybe desire for what money can buy, the nice house, the car, the vacations.
Which leads to spending everything you earn, right?
Right. So you work, you earn, you spend, maybe take on debt, then you have to work harder to pay the bills. It's a hamster wheel. You're working hard, but not really getting ahead financially.
Just running faster in the same spot.
Pretty much. The rich dad taught them to use fear and greed as motivators, as energy, not as things that control their decisions. Recognize the trap, choose a different way.
Okay, so escaping the rat race is the goal. What's the number one rule the rich dad taught them? The foundation for everything else?
Ah, yes. It's incredibly simple on the surface, but really profound. You must know the difference between an asset and a liability and buy assets.
Assets versus liabilities. Buy assets. Seems straightforward.
It does. But, the book argues that many people, even educated ones, get this wrong because of how we're taught, or maybe just common assumptions.
So how did the rich dad define it for them? Cut through the noise.
Super simple. Concrete. An asset puts money in my pocket.
Okay.
A liability takes money out of my pocket. That's it.
Puts money in, takes money out. It's about the cash flow.
Exactly. It's purely about the direction the money is flowing, not about potential future value or what an accountant might call it, but what it does now. Does it generate income for you, or does it cost you money?
So things we normally think of as assets, like maybe our house.
Well, that's the classic example in the book. Your primary residence, the place you live.
Yeah.
It usually takes money out of your pocket, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mortgage, taxes, insurance, repairs.
Yeah, constantly.
So by that simple definition, for most people, it functions as a liability, even if it might appreciate in value over time. An asset would be, say, a rental property that generates positive cash flow each month.
Got it. And Kiyosaki shows different cash flow patterns for different groups.
He does. It really clarifies things.
Yeah.
For the poor, income comes in and pretty much goes straight out to expenses. Very little stays.
Okay.
The middle class, they earn more, but they tend to buy liabilities they think are assets. The bigger house, the newer car, maybe a boat, all things that cost money to own and maintain.
Yeah.
Their income goes to paying off these liabilities.
So they look richer, but they're still stuck in that cycle of working to pay for things.
Often, yes. But the rich, they focus on acquiring income-generating assets. Stocks that pay dividends, bonds, rental properties, businesses that don't require their direct presence.
Things that put money into their pocket.
Yeah, exactly. Their assets generate income, which they then use to buy more assets. It becomes a virtuous cycle.
Which really drives home the point that just earning more money isn't the answer, is it?
Not on its own, no. Kiyosaki is really strong on this. More money without financial intelligence. It just tends to amplify whatever spending habits you already have.
Like throwing gasoline on a fire if the habits are bad?
Precisely. Think about lottery winners,
Oh.
or pro athletes who make millions and end up bankrupt. They got the money.
But didn't know what to do with it.
They lack the financial intelligence. The book's message is stark. Money without financial intelligence is money soon gone. It's about keeping it, growing it, making it work for you.
Okay, that leads perfectly into another huge concept, mind your own business.
Yes.
This is crucial.
He uses Ray Kroc, the McDonald's guy, as an example.
Yeah.
Kroc said his business wasn't hamburgers.
My business is real estate, right? That blows people's minds sometimes.
It does. What's the takeaway there?
It's the difference between your profession and your business. Your profession is what you do, doctor, teacher, programmer, maybe even flipping burgers. That's how you earn active income.
Okay, your job, right? Your business, in the rich dad sense, is your asset column. It's the collection of things you own that generate income for you, separate from your job. Kroc sold burgers. That was his profession in a way, but his business, the source of true wealth, was owning the land under the restaurants.
Ah, the assets.
Exactly. The rich focus on building that asset column, minding their own business. Most people spend their lives minding someone else's business. They're employers. They make the boss rich.
Or the government rich through taxes, or the bank through interest.
All of the above. You're working to build their assets, not necessarily your own.
And tied into this, Kiyosaki talks about the biggest secret of the rich corporations. This sounds intimidating for most people.
It really does, but he breaks it down. He argues a corporation isn't necessarily some giant skyscraper. At its heart, it's just a legal structure.
We'd like paperwork.
Basically, yeah. A file folder with some legal papers, as he puts it. You file it with the state. But this legal structure offers massive advantages, especially with taxes. Well, think about it. As an employee, you earn money. The government takes taxes out first, and then you get to spend what's left.
Yep. Painfully familiar.
But a corporation, it works differently. The corporation earns the money, then it spends money on legitimate business expenses. Everything it possibly can, legally.
Everything. Like what?
Well, things that can be structured as business expenses, maybe car payments if the car is used for business, health insurance premiums, even things like travel, if it's for, say, a board meeting or research. Then, after all those expenses, the corporation pays taxes on whatever profit is left over.
So earn, spend, then tax. The opposite of an employee.
Exactly. It's a huge difference in cash flow and tax efficiency. It's a legal tax loophole, he calls it, available to anyone who sets up their own business structure, but mostly used by those who understand the rules and are actively minding their own business.
So it's about playing the game by different rules.
Understanding the rules the wealthy often use, yes.
Okay, so you get the financial literacy, you understand assets, maybe you even set up a structure. But people still hit roadblocks, right? The book mentions obstacles.
Oh, definitely. Knowing isn't always enough. Doing is harder.
Yeah.
He identifies 5 main ones.
Let's start with fear. He says that's the main difference between rich and poor people.
Fear of losing money, yeah. It's huge. It paralyzes people, makes them play it way too safe.
So they miss opportunities.
Absolutely. The rich dad's view was winning means being unafraid to lose. Failure isn't the end. It's just a chance to learn, adjust, and try again, smarter. Winners aren't afraid of failure. They learn from it. Losers are terrified by it.
Okay, fear. What else?
Cynicism. Chicken littles who always find reasons why something won't work. They criticize, they doubt, but they don't analyze or act. They focus on the negatives like, oh, real estate. I don't want to fix toilets.
Instead of seeing the potential profit.
Right. Then there's laziness, which often hides as being too busy. Kiyosaki says the cure for this kind of laziness is actually a little bit of greed. Not negative greed, but a strong desire for something better. Asking what's in it for me motivates you to overcome obstacles.
Interesting take. What else? Bad habits.
Big one. Like the habit of paying everyone else first, bills, taxes, credit cards, and only saving or investing what's left over, if anything. Rich Dad taught to pay yourself first. Allocate money to your asset column before paying bills. It forces you to find ways to cover the rest.
Sounds risky.
It requires discipline for sure. And the last one is arrogance.
Arrogance. How does that stop you?
Because it's often a mask for ignorance. Thinking you know everything stops you from learning. Rich Dad said, every time I've been arrogant, I have lost money. You need to stay humble and keep learning, especially about money.
Wow, those are some serious mental hurdles. Fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, arrogance.
They really are. Overcoming them is as important as the financial knowledge itself.
Can we look at a concrete example of putting the knowledge into practice? Kiyosaki talks about inventing money with real estate. How did that work?
Yeah, this is a great example of financial intelligence in action, seeing opportunities others miss. He describes finding a house in foreclosure worth maybe $75,000.
Okay.
He found it through a bankruptcy attorney and bought it for only $20,000.
$20,000, that's a huge discount. How did he pay for it?
Well, he didn't have the $20,000. He put down just $2,000, which he borrowed from a friend for 90 days.
Okay, still needs to come up with the rest or sell it fast.
Right, so he immediately advertised the house.
Yeah.
$60,000 value, only $60,000 asking, no money down.
No money down. How does that work for him?
A buyer came along. Kiyosaki collected a $2,500 processing fee from the buyer up front.
Ah, so he immediately got his borrowed $2,000 back plus $500 profit.
Exactly. Paid back his friend instantly. Then the buyers signed a promissory note, basically an IOU, for the $60,000 purchase price, payable to Kiyosaki's corporation over time with interest, let's say 10% interest.
So Kiyosaki now owns a note worth $60,000 that's paying him interest.
Correct. He created an asset, the note receivable, that puts money in his pocket every month.
And he has zero of his own cash left in the deal.
Zero. That's the inventing money part. He used knowledge, negotiation, and creative financing, not just his own capital. His return on investment, ROI, is technically infinite because he got his initial investment back immediately.
That's incredible. It really shows it's about seeing the deal, the structure, not just the property.
Absolutely. As he says, opportunities are not seen with your eyes. They're seen with your mind. It's about financial intelligence creating opportunities, making money work for you.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up. To recap this deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the absolute core message seems to be financial education is critical. It's not optional if you want control.
It's essential. And the foundation of that education is truly understanding assets versus liabilities, what feeds you versus what eats you, financially speaking.
Right. Know the difference and focus on acquiring the ones that feed you.
And then consistently mind your own business, which means actively building that asset column, taking the money you earn from your job, your profession.
And converting it into passive income from assets or portfolio income.
Exactly. And alongside that, you have to tackle those personal roadblocks, the fear, the cynicism, the bad habits. Develop your financial IQ, choose to act, learn from mistakes.
It's a total shift from being controlled by money
to making money your employee, making it work for you, escaping that rat race.
The ideas in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, they really do challenge so much of what we're told about work, money, security. It forces a different perspective.
It really does. And ultimately, Kiyosaki argues the choice rests with each individual.
How so?
Well, he puts it quite provocatively. Every day, with every dollar, you decide to be rich, poor, or middle class.
Every dollar is a vote for your financial future.
Sort of, yeah. So the question for you listening is, what choice will you make today? What step will you take to build your own financial intelligence and shape the future you want?
A powerful question indeed. Definitely something to think about. Join us next time on The Deep Dive as we continue to unpack the knowledge that helps you think differently and hopefully live better.